Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Coffee with the Therapist. I just started my coffee this morning, so I'm really excited about it. And I'm also really excited to talk about type 2s in relationships. I have a lot of good friends that are type 2s. In fact, a lot of therapists and counselors tend to be type 2s. And it was actually for myself, when I was taking the test, it was my second number that I ranked high in, but I definitely ranked higher in type 7 across the board overall, but it was like my runner-up number the whole time. So I have a lot of fondness for my type 2s. They're beautiful, wonderful people in this world that have a heart for helping. So type 2s, you are the givers. You give of yourself. You can walk into a room and kind of emotionally feel the different states of the people in the room, whether they're in a good state or a bad state. And you might even tend to gravitate towards those in a bad state and come in to try to help them. Givers/helpers. They love to help people. They love to meet other people's needs. And so in relationships, sometimes this can look like finding partners that have lots of needs. Now, this isn't for every 2, but some 2s you have to be careful because they will tend to gravitate towards romantic partners that need a lot of help. Because when they give help and when they are giving, they feel more of a sense of worth. That's kind of how they get their kudos. And so they can often gravitate to partners that are like projects, so to speak. Or they want their partner to have certain needs, and when they don't, they can almost feel a little less helpful or worthwhile in the relationship. So it's really important that while you are an awesome partner to be with because you are giving and loving and try to help out in different ways, that you also make sure that you don't what we call overfunction for your partner. Because often in relationships, they can be overfunctioners, where, they don't quite realize that their partner may not be helping out around the house as much because they just go ahead and do everything for that partner. And so often with 2s, I'm always encouraging them to kind of take a step back and even give their partner a bit more space to help themselves or to work on something, because typically their partners aren't going to naturally go ahead and take care of things if the 2 is already taking care of it. Just like in human nature, if someone does my laundry, I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to say, hey, don't do that, or, start doing my laundry the day before. It's only once my laundry pile starts to really pile up and it drives me crazy that I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, I should probably do my laundry. So 2s kind of have to remember to not overfunction for people, because over time they can feel a little resentful because they're doing all the work, right? And they really are. So the other big part about 2s is they have these giving hearts. They want to fill the needs of others, but they can be really bad about making sure they're taking care of their own needs. And in fact, as I say that, a lot of 2s are like, what needs, right? Because in a way, they kind of focus so much on the needs of others that they don't even really connect that they have needs. And so when people tell 2s like, hey, you should focus more on yourself, or you should do things more for yourself, they kind of typically are like, what does that even mean? Because they don't attach themselves to needs. Instead, they're always kind of outwardly focusing on the needs of others. And so a really important step for 2s in relationships is to make sure that you're doing things that at times can feel either frivolous or selfish. Making sure that self-care isn't just doing your nails and that sort of thing. Self-care for a 2 is actually going to look like not doing something for someone else, or making sure you're not overbooking yourself or overextending yourself or overdoing things for other people. 2s will typically kind of overfunction in the workplace too. They will kind of, again, they like to help people, they like to get things done, and they will just continue to add things to their plate. And if they don't balance that, right, because I think that 2s actually get a lot of joy out of that, so they do need to be busy, they need to be doing things, they need to be giving and helping others. But if they do not balance that, that does turn into resentment and frustration over time, especially if their partner or loved ones don't give them recognition for all that they do. And twos feel resentment if people do not give them credit, if they don't smile at them, if they don't send thank yous. So if you are the loved one of a two, affirmations are incredibly important. Recognition is incredibly important, and make sure you are thanking your twos, because you know your twos in your life are doing things for you and they are wonderful human beings. I'm like thinking of my friend twos and even like the twos at Soma, and oh my gosh, they are the busy bees. They do so much for people. They are helpers. And so make sure that you are giving them due credit, because that really is what lights them up. As a two interpersonally, of course, you're going to want to work on balancing that and making sure you're giving yourself those affirmations and not always needing that recognition or approval from other people. But overall, I think, the biggest thing for twos is connecting to themselves, to their own needs, and trying to make sure that in relationships, they're not over functioning for other people and they're not overdoing things or helping out in ways that really should be the other person's responsibility, because again, over time, that's going to be the stuff that creates conflict for you, and that's going to be the stuff that builds resentment and anger in your relationship. All right, my twos, my helpers out there, my therapists, my coaches, my wonderful people, when you are going into a healthy place, you will know you're kind of gravitating towards that because you are being more creative. You are being more artistic in the ways that you are artistic. And so my hope for you is that you are able to reconnect with yourself and your creative side, that you are able to let go of things that are other people's responsibilities and make sure that you give yourself that validation and recognition that you are worthy even when you're not helping people, because you totally are. You are wonderful, amazing human beings. And I'm excited to see what creativity and happiness lands for you. Definitely still think that being in a helping profession is kind of where you flourish. So do a helping profession. But yeah, make sure you're not over functioning for your partners and you are really tuning into yourself, your own needs, and letting yourself be creative. I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. I'm excited to talk about type 3 tomorrow, and I will catch you then.